12th board meeting, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for a moment of silence. Amen. All right. Mr. Martin, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the September 22 board meeting. We always start out with the consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding the consent agenda? Okay. With that, I'd like to make the recommendation that the consent agenda, financial report, and board minutes of the regular board meeting held on August 8, 2022 be approved as submitted.
All right, so we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by John. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Adam. All right, any further discussion? All right, everybody vote for? Any opposed? Nope. All right, we're good.
Okay, up next, we're under section 4 action items. We have up next is an MOU with the Arkansas Construction Education Foundation, and I'd like to turn that over to Ms. Markville.
So last spring, Ms. Thomas, our college and career counselor, had an opportunity to meet with the Arkansas Construction Education Foundation, and we were learning more about it over time, but we have an opportunity this year to engage in a pre-apprenticeship program. Typically to be 18 years old and out of high school before you can start a formalized apprenticeship program. Think welding, master construction, plumbing, and those kind of things all require a 2-year apprenticeship program before you can be credentialed to be a certified, bonded, skilled worker in those areas. ACEF is working with the state and some surrounding schools and technical institutes, and is offering a pre-apprenticeship program, which is exciting, which would allow our seniors that are interested and qualified to go ahead and get a jump start on that apprenticeship program while in high school at no cost to them. And they actually are going to work with us. We've already sent a teacher in hopes that this will go through to training in Conway this summer. We have 10 eligible seniors who are interested. We did a preliminary parent night on open house just to gauge interest. We kind of did a draft of our MOU. And in that, what's exciting is at the culmination of the hours, the students actually have to track hours as if they were on a time clock, and we submit those weekly to the ACEF. They are eligible to earn $500 each semester that they can use toward tools. Purchase will be supervised by us. Tools, startup equipment, anything they might need for that next step in apprenticeship or for post-secondary education. So we're really excited to do this. Other schools, like I said, are surrounding areas, and mostly in Central Arkansas, have taken advantage of ACEF so far, but this year, NWTI, Springdale School District, and us are going to partner up here and try to do this. So I'm excited about this opportunity. They also will provide supplies and things for our teacher. They actually have already set them up an account, assuming this will go through, when it is finalized at Home Depot and Lowe's in the local hardware store. So the supplies and things needed to make sure our students can get through the pre-apprenticeship. This pre-apprenticeship will take off a year of a formalized apprenticeship program for our students that are doing almost any other area except for plumbing and I just lost my other train of thought. Plumbing and electrician is a half a year off their apprenticeship program. So a win-win for interested seniors. They can do it during class time, things like that. So I'd like to ask that you review that and that we can move forward to this partnership. And I'll answer any questions the best that I can.
What's the cost to the district?
The cost of the district is, well, we had a teacher that was teaching in these sections anyway, so we're already planning for her salary, just like she is she's just choosing to use this programming to, like, it's really no cost, but I won't say no cost because we already hired the teacher.
Okay,
If that
but it's not an
No
additional
correct.
cost.
She would have been teaching these students anyway at this time.
Okay.
And where are they going to, are they going into a different location? Because we don't have a welding teacher.
Yes, we in the junior high school. We have all the things that they need, and actually I don't need it. We have all the things, they came and reviewed our lab space, ACEF, to make sure we had all the things we needed to do that. And like the supplemental materials or things that would be consumable, that like, we might use is what they're gonna pay for. So we have the basic infrastructure pieces, the large scale, like the welding and the access to all the major things, but things that we might use for these projects are what they will be supplementing through Lowe's and Home Depot.
And the cost for the materials, those, they still have to pay for those with the.
The ACEF is covering that for us. So we have the major equipment, but things like if you are welding the gas, for example, they'll offset the cost of like the gas. Building materials, we have small tools and supplies that we normally would use will help us offset that while they're working through their credentialing. Did I answer your question?
Very good.
We do have the welding. We have, how many welding bays? 5 welding bays at the junior high school.
Which teacher were we looking for? At
Miss
the high
Coots.
school?
Miss Coots is teaching that we have the welding and those things at the junior high school.
Maybe I'm mistaken, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So, yeah, it's high school courses on the junior high campus because of the ventilation requirements and things that those labs have been set up for.
Awesome.
I'm excited, you know.
This is very
For
exciting.
1 year,
yeah.
so we're gonna, it's kind of, when I was advertising or talking parents piloting it, you know,
This
we're learning too.
this is such a huge need, overall in the area, in our particular area, but just in, I think, nationwide. I mean, the trade area is tremendously,
I hope this really,
growing.
I hope this really sets us up. My long-term goal is to build a residential construction
I love it.
program. And so I'm hoping that this can feed into that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
100%.
This is great.
Are there certain local businesses that are already kind of tapping into,
Well.
through this to us? so
Well,
to speak?
ACF has a partnership with some of our local, they actually, Kimball Mechanical, Multicraft, and their goal is to also help them get the job for the apprenticeship. So
That's
if
right.
students are really interested in jumping right into that apprenticeship. The numbers out of Central Arkansas, I think they had 100% placement of all the seniors that successfully did it, met all the credentials they had placed in Central Arkansas. So I was excited to hear that.
Great program. It's awesome.
Any other questions?
Well, I did have a quick one.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when they leave, is it like a certificate that they just have, or does it just transfer over? I'm just curious.
So what they do is when they leave, they apply with the Department of Justice. So these students are gonna do application with ACF, and they're also gonna be registered with the Department of, what's their, Justice Department, the
Department of Labor.
the Department of Labor.
Yeah.
They actually will leave with an account, I couldn't think of it, the
Of course
Department of
not.
Labor, thank you. So they actually will have a Department of Labor account that will be tied to them forever.
Okay, good.
So the parents, because they are under 18, the parents, we're gonna, actually tomorrow, if this is approved, my plan is to go sit with these 10 kiddos. I've pulled all their demographics, because they don't know all their information, and help them fill out the application the best we can. We'll sit at home with the parents, a Department of Labor application, and the ACEF. So we'll file that with the Department of Labor, and that will carry with them. So say they even take a break for a year and then pick it up, they can pick it, it'll always be tied to them.
Okay.
That's exciting too.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Okay.
Any others?
Thank you. Not Department of Justice.
Yeah.
They're not in trouble.
They're not in trouble.
They're not in trouble.
With that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the MOU with the Arkansas Construction Education Foundation.
All right, so we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion? I'll make a motion. All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any other conversation, discussion? All right, so everybody who is, I can't talk tonight.
All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor. I just went blank. I'm like, what in the world? All in favor? Any opposed?
It was a Department of Justice. I was all off kilter.
I don't think so. I am brain fogged this morning or this
I know,
evening.
all over. Like, this isn't right.
All right, up next, we have our Student Services Report. Ms. Ramey?
Food service, our month-ending balance for August was $469,307.21. We are still awaiting reimbursements for July and August from the state as we close out one year and then begin the next. It's always slow this time of year on reimbursements because we have to wait for every school district in the state to complete paperwork, and some of them are delayed. They don't do quite as good a job as Julie does of getting her information. So we do have outstanding reimbursements. I think it's right in the nature of about $45,000 coming to us, which will be added to that balance. So our balance continues to stay strong. We are seeing a little reduction in the amount of students that are eating at school. It's due to, we've gone back to having to pay for lunches. And so more families are choosing to bring food from home and that sort of thing. But our staff continues to do a really good job for us. This is our big time for free reduced lunch applications. And so right now we've got about 45% of our student body that has completed those and turned them in. We should see an increase here over the next 2-3 weeks because that 30-day window, where if you qualified last year, rolls off the books on Thursday of this week. And so families will, right now they're under, they still receive free meals from last year's applications. That will end on the 15th, and then they'll start to be charged and receive some phone calls and stuff. So that'll kind of kickstart us to get some more applications and things in. October 1 is a big deadline for us because that's when state pulls our numbers and we get some of our percentages for funding. And so we always try to get a lot of applications in before October 1. Families can fill them out all year long, but it's got a crucial date for our district. And so we continue to kind of push that information. In transportation, we are experiencing some of the things that other districts are experiencing. And I know you guys have seen the notifications with a bus is delayed or a bus is late or whatever, but we've got a shortage of drivers. We are actively working to get some people certified. We've got a couple that have come and seen us and some more interest other places. And so we're actively working and trying to rectify problems so we can kind of get back to our normal routes. But as new areas and new subdivisions come online, it's kind of making us change and adjust. And we're seeing more riders from different places, and so it's putting some stress on us. And we're trying to work it out kind of as we go. And so we're thankful for our families because they've been really patient and flexible with us. But at the same time, we know we've got to get some of this stuff resolved for them. And so we are working on it. I can't thank Teresa Dean and Marion Holland enough. They've pulled about really like 10.5, 11-hour days for about 3 weeks straight just to keep us kind of up and running. And they're answering phone calls and running students down to Rogers and everywhere else. And so they've kind of gone above and beyond the call of duty, and we're very appreciative of them. Also, we've had several of our coaches step up and be willing to drive routes in the morning and help drop off in the afternoon. And so the important thing is we're getting students to campus and we're getting them back home. We may be 5 or 10 minutes late, but we're getting them here and then we're getting them home. That's kind of our goal right now. And then we'll line it out as we can over time. But we are working, and we thank our community for being patient with us. Since our last board meeting, and it seems like forever ago, but in maintenance, we had our board meeting, I think, the week before school started, and then that Saturday we had tragedy at the high school, and we had some painters in on Saturday doing some work, and they hit a sprinkler head, and for about 12 minutes, we had water just flowing 100 miles an hour in one of our classrooms. And I say one of our classrooms, it's what we call a quad. It's 4 classrooms in one, so it's about 3,500 square feet. And it completely flooded. And I'm thankful for our maintenance team and our custodian. We put about 60 hours in 2 days so that we could have school at the high school on Monday the 15th. And so very appreciative of those people that came up. When we first walked in and looked at it, you didn't know where to begin. I mean, we just had water and stuff everywhere, and they didn't hesitate. They just got after it and went right to work. C.R. Crawford, our construction company, extremely involved in the process and are involved today. We were talking to them today about insurance companies and information needed and those sort of things. And so it's a work in progress. The room has not been released back to us yet. It's still very much under repair. We've got supplies and things in order, but we're working with a third-party insurance company. And so they're requesting things, and they've been on site. As we get that cleared up, we'll see that work begin to finalize. We've got electrical work that has to be done. We've got ceiling tile that's got to be replaced. The lights have to be replaced. We've already painted in that room. We've got flooring that has to be completely replaced. So it's a little bit of a chore and a big project. We hope to have all of it done now, but it's just like everything else, supply chain issues taking time. And so we are working on those things. We've submitted all of our documents. Now we're just waiting on insurance, third-party review. Sarah Crawford's kind of taking the lead because it was one of their contractors. So we are working through that, and hopefully we'll get it back soon. The other thing that we've got is our ESG, our HVAC and our roof project. The roof work at the junior high is pretty much completed. We've got Queen City that's doing the roofing out of Springfield coming on site Friday. And so we'll kind of have the final kind of walk through with them. We'll look at any items or anything that we've got going on, that they've completed the bulk of their work. We appreciate them they work 7 days a week and did a lot after hours and stuff when school got started, because we didn't want them in there with kids and different things. And so we thank them for the work that they did. Middleton is still waiting on some parts for HVACs. And so we hope, we've kind of said this for the last 2 or 3 months, we hope it will be completed. We're not. We're just waiting on stuff to come in. And as it comes in, they've got plans in place to install and get us going. But when we've had issues with anything that has already been finished, they're on site that day. And so continuing to work through that project. It's been, 2 years?
Yes, sir.
A long 2 years. And so we've started to use our system, and our teachers in our 2 buildings, the junior high and the intermediate, we've got it up and running where we can monitor remotely the thermostats and what we're seeing and doing. So all of that is working for us. So the system's up and running. We still have all of it completed at this time. So as we get it done, then we'll be fully integrated. But we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just haven't run through it yet. And so we're almost there.
Good.
That's it. That's all I got.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Yes, I did have a quick question. I know that the transportation has been on the minds of parents. If they do have questions, just for their information, if they're concerned or not sure what time their child's getting on the bus, who can they contact, just so it's easy? Okay.
They can call the transportation department or the district admin. It'll come to me either way.
Okay, because I know there's been a little bit of like, well, it said they're late, but I don't know what that means, and I'm already at work, so,
Yeah, there were a
okay,
couple of days we were really late.
okay.
Yeah, and yesterday was one of them, and what happened was we had a tree across the road, and just delayed us by about 20 minutes. We were waiting for them to get it out of the road for us.
Right.
So just
Can't
some
control
unforeseen-
that,
Well,
yeah.
some unforeseen stuff, but, then some of it's been a shortage of drivers, and we've had to run double routes and do things to make it work. So that's what we've been doing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right, Mr. Martin.
Up next, under curriculum instruction, I know this is a very long approval thing. We have to approval of the Arkansas Department of Education Statement of Assurances for programs under the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965 as amended by the Every Student Succeeds Act. This is something that we do every year to, we sign off that we are in compliance with Title 1A, Title 1D, Title 2A, Title 1 Part D. And what this is, it's showing that we are following all rules and regulations when it comes to the spending of money. We talked about free and reduced lunch forms the other day. This is categorical funds. Our free and reduced lunch percentage drives a lot of the funding that we get in this, and that's why it's so important. But what we're doing is we're signing off on the assurances for our Title I Part A, which is free and reduced lunch percentages, Title I Part D, which is children of youth who are neglected, delinquent, or at risk. And Title II Part A, that's teacher training and prep PD, Title III, which is our ESL kids, our English as second language, and Title IV, Part A, which is student support and academic enrichment. And the last part of it over there is the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Act, where it complies with all these federal categorical funds. Are there any questions on the document? Okay, with that, I'm going to read it really long again. With that, I would like to make the recommendation that we approve the Arkansas Department of Education Statement of Assurances programs under the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965 as amended by the Every Student Succeeds Act.
All right, so we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion? Motion by Jessica. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, Mr. Martin?
Up next, we have approval of the budget for the 22-23 fiscal year, and I will turn it over to Ms. Fennell. I sure can. And Ms. Fennell. Just a second.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Good evening. I've created a short presentation on how I do budgets and some of our historical data. So primarily our goals here at P Ridge is we always want to strengthen our effective programs and we want to retain and hire the best personnel. Those are two key factors that I use when I budget. Some of the budgeting principles I also use is we always want to spend less than we receive. So I always budget revenue low, expenditures high. That way I can make sure that we're always on task. We always focus on improving learning and teaching, and I distinguish between what we need versus what people want. We always want to take care of our needs first, our required needs, and then we go to the our key budget components are our property tax assessments, our student foundation funding, and our student membership. Those are the three key factors in how we generate our revenues. Here's some historical information on our property tax assessments. As you can see, it continually increases year over year. Next year, we anticipate it increasing again with the, this year we had a new assessment year, which is why you had such a big jump. Next year, it'll jump again because we have all the new housing developments coming in into P Ridge. This is our average daily membership. This is what we are funded on from the state. Again, as you can see, it's increased. We increased over 100 students. Now that 2,333 is an average of the first 3 quarters of last year. So we receive our initial funding based on last year's membership, our last year's student count. Right now, I believe we're at 2449 was the last number that I had.
Yeah, we're right at 24 this month.
So when I budget student foundation or state foundation funding, I only budget it at the 2333. I don't budget that difference in what our actual count is. We'll receive student growth money in December or January, and then another portion of it at the end of the fiscal year. One of the reasons I don't budget it is because it's not guaranteed to us. If we have a drop in enrollment, we won't receive as much. So I don't budget it. It's also a safeguard to me. I use it for emergencies. If we have an issue like we had at the high school, and thankfully in this case, it was the insurance company's going to pay for it from the contractors. Right now, our per pupil foundation funding we're funded at $7,413. It's an increase of about $231 per student. So that is guaranteed for each student in every district. That $7,000 is not just made up of state foundation funding. It's made up of a portion of our property taxes and the state funded. So depending on where you are in the state of Arkansas, it could be you receive more from the state because you receive less property taxes because the values of housing is lower, where we receive more in property tax. Our local revenue per student is calculated on 98% of the assessment just on our first 25 mills. Right now, we're at 47.2. So we're guaranteed 98% of the 25 mills. The other mills is just based on collections on whether people pay their property taxes. On average, the past 5 years, we've gotten probably about 96% of those. And we do get delinquent taxes as well, so when people pay their delinquent taxes, it does catch up eventually, but year after year, it's usually about 96%. So this is how we're funded. As you can see, it's $7,413 per student. Our percentage from our property taxes is about $1,649, and the other portion comes from the state. And so it's about 22% from property taxes, and the other 78% is from the state. That's been pretty much the same year after year. As you can kind of see, I show the historical data of how we're funded between local and state. Our operating fund projections, our revenue, our growth funds, which I don't budget because they're not guaranteed, and then our expenditures. This is the makeup of our operating revenue. As you can see, it's primarily made up of state foundation funding and property taxes. We do have some state revenue sources. We get some state special ed money. We get some categorical money, which is our professional development, English as a second language, our ALE program, and professional development. We get 4 sources, and it's all considered state money. Even though it's in our operating fund, those 4 are restricted based on those type of programs. So when we get funding for ALE, I cannot use ALE funding for a non-ALE student. We get SPED funding, I can't use it for a non-special ed student. Our operating expenditures, as you can see, our salary and benefits pretty much make up the majority of our budget. Then we have utilities and our debt service, and then our other expenses is about 8%. So we don't have a lot of excess money once we pay for salaries and benefits and our debt services for other things. Now I'll go over the 22-23 budget.
Can I ask a question before you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
So the 7,413 that we get per student,
Yes, ma'am.
do we get that even for school choice students?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
It's-
Okay.
It's any student enrolled
Enrolled,
in
okay.
our district.
Yeah, that is where your 25 meals comes in. The 47.2 minus 20, was that 22.2? That is locally funded. That is what we as a district have voted on with it, and we pay those 22.2 meals basically for bonded debt service or the school's mortgage payment for all of our buildings and stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
In your packet, I believe you have a copy of this. This is a little hard to read. But this is on the screen right now is just our operating fund. So it's our operating money and our debt service. I've shown you three columns. The first column is our 22-23. That is my proposed budget. I show our 21-22 actual, where we ended the year at, and then what our 21-22 budget is. So as you can see in revenue, our top 2 line items are our foundation funding and our property taxes. Our other state funding, again, is that categorical money that we receive. We do get a donation of $97,200 from the Accelerate Foundation, and that is strictly restricted to our pre-K program. So it helps pay for our pre-K salaries and some of their supplies that they are needing. Do you want to scroll?
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying my best.
I was gonna click.
I was trying, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I didn't, okay. Keep going? Okay.
So on the operating fund, the expenditures, as you can see, our salaries and benefits are our primary expenditure that we budget, and then debt. I made a few notes on some of our expenditures. On textbooks, that's not just a physical textbook. Under textbooks, I also include any software that we purchase that takes the place of a textbook. So like our Lexio Learning, our Wisdom, any math or literacy curriculum or science or social studies curriculum is all lumped into textbooks. On other professional services, that it also includes like our, we contract out with the Northwest Arkansas Co-op to provide pre-K services for our special ed kids that are pre-K. So that is under professional services. It also includes our website management company. Our tuition is our concurrent classes. So we have some students that have taken concurrent classes and we pay for those classes for them. So that's what the tuition is. And then our printing and copiers, that's not just the cost of printing, that's the lease payments that we make for all the copiers in the district. And so that's our operating fund. Our building fund is our construction, any type of construction projects that we have. It fluctuates from year to year. This year, what I've budgeted is it's just the final payments that we have for our energy savings project, because that's the only project we have ongoing. Last year, it was in full stride. We had a full year of the project, and so that's why there's such a difference in what happened last year versus what happens this year. And so our funding will come from our partnership money that we get from the state. This is our federal fund budget. This is where we get our Title I, our special ed money, and then our ESSER money is also included in this. Our federal fund money, this is based on preliminary allocations. The state will finalize our allocations based on our student count on October 1st, and we'll get those final allocations usually towards the end of the calendar year. And so we have to adjust the budget at that time, but usually it's just adjusting revenue and adjusting an expense, so they zero out. They always should balance. Whatever money we have coming in, I have to budget the expenditures. And again, it's primarily used for salaries and benefits. The high dollar amounts we have in technology and supplies and other professional services, that is based on our ESSER funding. We still have quite a bit of ESSER funding that we're going to expend, and those are some of the places that we had originally earmarked them for. But we periodically meet to see what our needs are, because we can change those needs with the state as they come about. And this is our last fund. This is our child nutrition fund. The money in the child nutrition fund can only be used for child nutrition. I cannot use any revenue generated from student food sales for other things. We can't pay off student accounts using that money. We can't use it for any shortfalls. And so it's based on federal and students' sales. As you can see, this year we lowered the amount of federal funding we expect to get because we're not funded 100% this year. And we increased the amount of revenue generated from student adult sales. And again, it's primarily salaries and benefits, and our food costs are generally our expenditures for that program. Our activity funds are not budgeted. Those are our student groups. And so the money those groups raise stays with them. So if FFA raises money, it stays with FFA. It cannot be used for youth football. And so those are generally not budgeted because it depends on their fundraisers and what expenses. But they each have a sponsor and a student group, and they
No, I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thursday, you put all this together and had a training session for all of us, and I greatly appreciate the time you put into that and taking it and breaking it down and explaining it to, it was me and Adam, but to the board. So I greatly appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Brunel. I can't tell you how much of an asset she is to us.
Telling you.
And everything. You know, Mr. Taylor's department, Ms. Brunel, they literally touch every department, every organization that we have in our district and the work they do. If it's a restaurant, they're almost back of the house, but the back of the house keeps the front of the house going, and they keep it going well. So I'm very thankful for them.
Absolutely. And like I said, for answering all of our questions and breaking it down for some of us, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Do y'all have any additional questions? With that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the budget for the 22-23 school year.
All right, so we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Adam. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jessica. All right, any conversation, discussion? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, Mr. Martin?
Okay, next, we have approval of salary changes under Act 1120. Act 1120 came our way about 7 or 8 years ago. And what it does is it requires school board approval for salary increases for the fiscal year ending July 30th, 2021, compared to people's salaries ending fiscal year July 30th, 2022. So it's already happened in the past, but it allows for transparency for you to see salary increases. Some of the salary increases look like a lot. We have one individual, they drove a bus one year, and the next year they were a full-time bus driver. Well, it's a 4,000% salary increase. But anything over 5%, we're required to report to you. So this is the document. Are there any questions? Okay. With that, I would like to make the recommendation that we approve the salary changes under Act 1120.
All right, so we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by John. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Sarah. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, Mr. Martin?
Up next is personnel, and I'd like to ask if we can go into executive session.
All right, so it is 6:38, and we will go into executive session now.